Welcome to the More Than Anxiety podcast. I'm Megan DeVito, and I'm the life coach for stressed out and anxious women who want more out of life. I'm here to help you create a life you love to live where anxiety isn't holding you back. Get ready for a lighthearted approach to managing anxiety through actionable steps, a lot of truth talk, and inspiration to take action so you walk away feeling confident, calm, and ready to live. Let's get to it. Welcome to episode 40 of the More Than Anxiety podcast. I'm Megan, and as always, I am honored that you chose to spend your time hanging out with me here today. This episode is being recorded in May of 2023. So if you're catching this episode as it drops, you might be well aware of how unsettled things have felt for a whole lot of people around the world, not just like in the recent weeks or months, but actually in the last several years, since probably starting with the election stuff and then pandemic stuff. It's been something. And if you're catching this episode in the future, my hope is that things are really calm and put back together again, because I truly believe we are headed in that direction. We're just not quite there yet. We will get there, but for right now, for a lot of people, things feel pretty crazy and hopeless. And that's what I'm going to talk about today in this episode. Episode 40 is about finding hope all around you, how powerful hope is when you feel anxious or depressed or 100% fine, and how you can find and create more hope in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, in the past several years, we've had a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of chaos in this country, and I'm recording this in the United States. So if you are here with me, you probably get it. And if you're in the rest of the world, you've had your own share of crazy stuff. We're all in the middle of it. This has also led to a huge increase in the number of people who are struggling with mental health issues, whether that's from being isolated during the pandemic, from spending way too much time on social media, or just really negative and catastrophic news that we have access to 24/7. It seems like every time you turn around, somebody is sharing a video of a fight or of people who are screaming at each other. And there are conflicts and existential threats in our faces, basically from the time we wake up to the time that we finally shut down our phones and try to sleep at night. So then we lay there and we roll those news bites and those thoughts over and over through our heads while we try to fall asleep. And it doesn't really work out, does it? Because it can leave you feeling pretty hopeless. But one thing I know for sure is hope is always available, and it is absolutely essential for your well-being. It's not just a nice word. So why is hope so important? I want you to imagine waking up and rolling into your day thinking that whatever you do doesn't matter. That it doesn't matter if you get up and around. It doesn't matter if you do well at your job, if you're faithful to your partner or to yourself. You have absolutely no reason or motivation to move forward or even look forward. So people often ask me how I stay motivated, and hope is really a big part of being motivated, along with, of course, being determined. Because hope helps you stay positive and to feel motivated even when things feel difficult, scary, or boring, or blah. And the good news is that you can find hope all around you. And when you can't find it, you can create your own when you know how to do it. So I'm going to teach you. For people who are anxious, because your brain is already on high alert, the scary things that you might see on the news, or even that feeling of being anxious day in and day out, can make hope feel like something that is kind of outside your control and maybe even sometimes not existent. So you might feel that being anxious is just who you are and it's how it's going to be for the long haul. But that doesn't have to be the case. I know it feels true because there's emotion attached to the thought. And anytime we take an emotion and we attach it to a thought, it feels more true. So you feel sad or you feel scared or you feel anxious or you feel hopeless. And your brain, of course, gives you the thoughts to make it seem even more true. You can choose not to believe this, though. This is where finding joy and hope falls into your control. And since anxiety comes from feeling out of control, this is actually really great news, and it is totally empowering for you. So stick with me. You've probably heard a lot about living in the moment. We talk about this a lot. It's one of the biggest goals that people have when I start coaching them. They'll say, I just want to be able to be in the moment and not be worrying about the future or freaking out over something I said in the past or did in the past. Instead of focusing on the what if thoughts about the future, about maybe climate change or politics or whatever the heck has grabbed your attention for the time being, you stay right here, right now. I know it's really easy to get caught up in that feeling of fear because you're trying to have some control, but it's also impossible. It causes you to feel more hopelessness because while you can do things to help, you can't fix everything on your own. You can try all the time, but on your own, that's a pretty big call, isn't it? But when you choose to focus on the present, I mean right now, this very second, how your body feels right now, what's going well for you right now, what makes you smile and feel good right now, one little tiny thought at a time, you are creating hope. In this moment, right here, right now, listening to this episode, you are safe. Things aren't off the rails. You're just sitting here listening to a podcast. When you intentionally focus on the exact present moment, you find hope in the little things going on around you that make you smile. So for me, this might be drinking coffee or eating lunch out on my back deck. And as a side note, that thing about really liking birds all of a sudden when you're like 45-ish is actually no joke. I like birds. Birds bring me a lot of joy, so I focus on them sometimes. For you, this might be spending time reading or taking a walk or snuggling your dog or your partner or watching the clouds float through the sky. Whatever it is, it's okay, as long as you are in the moment and enjoying it. Another way that you can create more hope is by moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. This is a really powerful shift that I can help people make when we coach together. So if you don't know, or if this is new terminology for you, a fixed mindset is just a way of thinking that limits your ability to learn and to change. You think you're only as smart as whatever you've told yourself, or you know what you know now, and then you say, that's it. That's where I am. I can't change. It's the, this is just the way I am stuff. I've talked about this a lot. It's not just the way you are. It's just the way you are right now. You might also say things like, I'm just stubborn. I'm not smart enough to learn something like that. I'm wired to be worried and anxious. And these thoughts keep you fixed right where you are. That's why it's called a fixed mindset. When you notice yourself thinking this way, though, it's the perfect time to change, and you absolutely can change to a growth mindset. What I can help you do is move into a growth mindset. We do this on a consultation call, and you can schedule one of those using the link in the show notes, or you can go to my website. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But a growth mindset means that you see challenges as opportunities for growth or to learn something new, rather than a stopping point or something that you just aren't capable of. This means learning to fail on purpose. It means investigating new ideas as a chance to see things from a different perspective, or to grow and to change. And when you see things that are difficult or as something you've never done before, like there's a first time for everything, you're able to see past the problem, or even the things that scare you, to find hope and the ability to solve for whatever the problem is. And their problems lose that problem status. It can even become games when you've practiced thinking this way for a while. You might start to think of problems as something like, I'm going to knock this one out, instead of, that seems too big and hard and I'll probably screw it up. That's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A growth mindset gives you opportunities to find more hope. Remember, thoughts become habits, and if you are stuck in the thought cycle that makes you feel anxious or that makes you feel incapable, especially if this comes to avoiding people because you're afraid of what they will think or what they'll say, because you're afraid of being trapped or panicking, or for any other reason, you're also missing another opportunity to find more hope. Human connections are incredibly important and powerful to help you feel hopeful and resilient. We have lost so much of this with how much time we spend on our phones instead of hanging out in person. And yes, there are definitely some great ways to connect with technology, of course. However, if you are spending all of your time scrolling and commenting, you're not forming those connections that used to be so simple to make. In fact, the more we connect, the more support we have. And I mean authentically connect. I don't mean jumping on social media and talking with somebody who lives super far away. And yes, some of those people can be your dearest friends, and you will connect with them beyond the game you play or beyond the forum that you're in. Those are great connections. But when it's just casual, I commented on a post things, those aren't the connections that you need to feel hopeful. If you are feeling alone and like it's really difficult to make friends, or you're anxious about connecting, I can help you. There are people all around you craving connections like they used to have, and I can help you find your people and feel confident about actually going out and talking to someone using your mouth, not your thumbs, with a voice and not a thought. Hope is all around you when you know where to look for it, and when you actively seek good news. When you focus on the present, when you enjoy the tiny little moments that make you smile, when you connect with old friends and make new friends and stretch yourself to find new ways of thinking and any of these things and all of them, you start to see that there really is hope. And sometimes that little flicker is all it takes to get you to move forward. And if you're not sure where to start, I've got the answer for that too. You can go to my website. It's megandevito.com and click the Work With Me tab. You'll be able to schedule a consultation call to talk with me about what you'd like to have in your life or what you don't want to have in your life anymore. And on the call, you'll learn more about what's keeping you feeling hopeless and stuck, and also find hope in what can help you. So it all kind of works out, huh? So if I don't go talk to you on a call, I will be back next week to talk to you then. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the More Than Anxiety podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review so others can easily find this resource as well. And of course, when you're ready to explore coaching with me, jump to the show notes, click the link, and schedule time for us to talk. See you soon.